like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her infamous 22 number to a new one.
You are not going to believe this one. Sue Bird, a legend of the game, just had what can only be described as a complete public meltdown. And it's a story that almost nobody saw coming. Here's the bombshell. Caitlin Clark has reportedly told Team USA that she is completely done with them if they refuse to let her wear her iconic number 22 jersey. And Sue Bird's reaction to this ultimatum has sent shockwaves through the entire basketball world. Right now, the managing director of Team USA is scrambling, desperately trying to control the damage, but the situation is spiraling out of control at a terrifying speed. This isn't just some minor drama. This could very well be the single biggest crisis that women's basketball has faced in modern history. So, before we dive deep into Sue Bird's frantic reaction and get into the specifics of what Caitlin allegedly said behind those closed doors, I need you to tell me in the comments, if you were in Caitlin's shoes, would you actually quit Team USA over a jersey number? Because what is unfolding right now is no small thing. It has the potential to completely reshape the entire future of USA basketball as we know it forever.
Because we ultimately know she was snubbed from the cover of Team USA, and not only is they snubbing her, the disrespect is continuing because it's looking like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her number. Now this article has come out.
All right, let's get straight to it. Team USA basketball has managed to create the biggest crisis in women's basketball. And the craziest part is, they did it entirely to themselves. They made the unbelievable decision to force Caitlin Clark, the undisputed, unquestioned face of the entire sport right now, to give up her iconic number 22 for their upcoming December training camp. According to multiple sources who are extremely close to the situation, Caitlin's response was as direct as it gets, basically saying, "If I can't wear my number, then I'm not showing up." And now, you've got Sue Bird, the managing director of Team USA, who is reportedly losing her absolute mind, trying to figure out how this situation escalated so ridiculously out of control. Let's be perfectly 100% crystal clear about something fundamental here. This is not just about a simple number change. This is being widely viewed as a blatant, calculated, and frankly shocking act of disrespect toward the one star who single-handedly brought millions upon millions of new eyes to women's basketball. We are talking about the player whose name is arguably bigger than the sport itself at this moment, being told that her most recognizable symbol, her brand identity, has to be left behind. It's a baffling move that has fans, analysts, and literally everyone in between scratching their heads and seriously questioning whether Team USA even remotely understands the generational talent they have in Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a very creative person. I was born on January 22nd, so it's what I went with when I was about 5 years old, so.
This absolute bombshell dropped just as everyone was gearing up for Team USA's critical training camp in North Carolina, which was scheduled to run from December 12th through the 14th. Think about what this camp was supposed to be. It was meant to be a massive celebration of the sport, a showcase of the absolute best talent the world has to offer, featuring incredible stars like Paige Bueckers, Juju Watkins, and many others. Instead, in the blink of an eye, it transformed into the stage for this unprecedented and, let's be honest, completely bizarre controversy that might actually result in the biggest name in basketball refusing to even participate. Reports began to surface, revealing this shocking mandate that would effectively strip Clark of the number that has become totally synonymous with her record-shattering college career at Iowa and her absolutely dominant WNBA performances. The timing of this decision just makes it even more mind-boggling. It comes at the exact moment her fame is exploding on a global scale, which does nothing but amplify the outrage felt by her incredibly dedicated and rapidly growing army of supporters. And you better believe it, right now those supporters are flooding social media, encouraging Caitlin to stand her ground and refuse to compromise on something so fundamental to her brand and her identity.
The case to be made that Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark, number 22, is the most recognizable number in women's sports right now. There's no argument to be made. There's no case to be made. Caitlin Clark, number 22, is the most recognizable number for any woman athlete in the world.
Let's make absolutely no mistake about this, because it's the core of the entire issue. Caitlin Clark's number 22 isn't just some random sequence of digits on a jersey. It is, without a single shred of doubt, the single most recognizable number in all of women's sports right now. Period. End of discussion. There is no legitimate debate to be had, and there is no valid argument that can possibly be made against this undeniable fact. From her mind-blowing, reality-bending performances at the University of Iowa, all the way to her explosive WNBA career with the Indiana Fever, The number 22 has become a completely inseparable part of her very identity. It's more than a number, it's a beacon. A symbol that fans instantly, whether they're sitting in the nosebleed seats in sold-out arenas or watching on their television screens from halfway around the world. To the millions and millions of people who follow her every move, it's not just 2 digits on a jersey. It's a legacy being forged in real time. Her entire brand, the compelling narrative of her incredible journey, and her whole story are all intrinsically and powerfully linked to that number. It embodies those audacious long-range three-pointers that break the internet, the almost psychic court vision she possesses, and the sheer unyielding will to win that has captivated a massive global audience, stretching far beyond the traditional basketball fan base.
Clark to wear number 17 at Team USA training camp. On December 24th, news broke that Caitlin Clark will be taking a part in the training, which that's what we talked about at the beginning of the video. Now, this right here this came out this came out on the 24th. So these are the numbers, man. Head on over to Twitter and check this out real quick. So this is what was released right here. It says Lauren Betts. Hold on, here's the ages. Where's the number? Here we go, right here. So these are the numbers. Caitlin Clark. Let me blow this all the way up, man. I want to blow this all the way up so y'all can see this. So as y'all can see here, man, how did Caitlin Clark's number will be changed? So who's wearing 22? Or if you guys remember, Michael Jordan wore number 45 in the Olympics to Caitlin, because it don't look like no one's wearing number 22. It don't look like.
Think about this for a second. No one else of her stature is wearing number 22. She has quite literally become synonymous with the number 22 in the exact same way that Michael Jordan is forever inextricably linked with the number 23, or the way Wayne Gretzky is with 9. To demand that she change that number at this point in her career feels, to many, like a deliberate and perplexing attempt to dilute that incredibly powerful connection she's built with her fans. It's a head-scratching move that leaves absolutely everyone wondering what the motivation could possibly be. Unless, of course, the motivation is exactly what it appears to be. A power play. A way of asserting control over a player who has become bigger than the organization itself. And here's the part that makes this even more frustrating for Caitlin's fans. This isn't even the first time that USA Basketball has seemingly undervalued her unprecedented influence on the game. Remember earlier this year, when she was conspicuously, almost shockingly, snubbed from the Olympic roster? That glaring omission baffled onlookers everywhere, especially when you consider her undeniable global appeal and the massive television viewership numbers she consistently commands. This emerging pattern of either overlooking or actively undermining her rising star status continues to fuel intense speculation that there is a deeper, more complicated agenda at play here. Perhaps there's a resistance within the old guard of the organization to fully embracing the revolutionary, game-changing force that she so clearly represents. Because when you look at the facts, none of this makes any logical sense unless you consider the possibility that Team USA might actually be threatened by just how powerful Caitlin has become. So what number were they trying to force her to wear? The official word is that Caitlin Clark would be wearing number 17 for the upcoming USA training camp. 17. Now, while it's just an arbitrary number on its own, its real significance lies in the simple fact that it is absolutely not numbered. This forced alteration, especially when you consider the immense brand recognition she brings to the table, sparks a whole host of questions. You have to ask, is this a deliberate attempt by the organization to assert its control, to show who's boss? Or is it just a tone-deaf, out-of-touch decision that completely fails to grasp the cultural impact of her established brand? Either way you slice it, the message being sent to Clark feels uncomfortably clear. We're in charge and your popularity doesn't give you special treatment. And according to those reports, Caitlin's response was, in essence, then I don't need to be here. What makes this entire situation even more infuriating for her supporters is the stunning revelation that no one, and I mean absolutely no one, on the USA Basketball training camp roster will be wearing number 20. It's not like the number was already claimed by a long-standing veteran player or a highly respected star with an unbreakable claim to it. The number is simply being left empty, unused, and available. This single detail completely transforms the incident. It goes from being a potential roster conflict or a simple logistical issue into what feels like an overt, undeniable act of perceived marginalization against the most impactful and popular player of her generation. If nobody else is wearing the number, why on earth would you force Caitlin to change? The logic simply doesn't exist. The justification falls apart completely. And that's precisely why Caitlin allegedly drew her line in the sand. And now Sue Bird is dealing with the catastrophic consequences of this decision. As the managing director of Team USA Basketball, Sue is the one responsible for building the program's future. She handpicked these players for this training camp. She's supposed to be cultivating the next generation of American basketball dominant. But instead, she's stuck managing a crisis entirely of Team USA's own making. Because forcing your biggest star to compromise on something so fundamental to her identity was always going to blow up in their face. Sue Bird's reported reaction has been described as everything from frustrated to panicked. Sources suggest she's been working feverishly behind the scenes, trying to find a solution that keeps Caitlin in the fold while also not completely undermining whatever arbitrary policy led to this mess in the first place. But here's the fundamental problem. Caitlin Clark holds all the cards in this situation. She doesn't need Team USA. Team USA desperately needs her. Think about it. Caitlin is already a champion. She's already broken countless records. She's already changed the sport She's already the most marketable player in women's basketball history. What does she actually gain from playing for Team USA if they're going to disrespect her brand in the process? The Olympic glory? She can live without it. The international experience? She's already proven herself at every single level. The honor of representing her country? That honor loses its shine when the country's basketball federation treats you like you're just another replaceable part. Meanwhile, what does Team USA lose if Caitlin refuses to play? They lose everything. They lose their biggest draw. They lose the player who brings mainstream, primetime attention to women's basketball. They lose the athlete who fills arenas to capacity and spikes television ratings to historic highs. They lose the face of the next generation. Sue Bird knows that. That's why she's reportedly losing it behind the scenes. Because this situation exposes just how little leverage Team USA actually has. This specific controversy also serves as a stark reminder of the broader disrespect that women in sports, particularly in the WNBA, so often have to face. It ties directly into the ongoing struggles for equitable pay, for better working conditions, and for increased recognition for their incredible athletic accomplishments. Just think about it. When the most visible and popular star in the entire sport is treated this way, it sends a negative ripple effect throughout the whole league. It echoes the long-standing frustrations and highlights the deep-rooted systemic issues that still plague women's basketball, even despite its recent and incredible surge in popularity. The ongoing tense discussions around the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement and the very real threat of a lockout only underscore these deep-seated problems. The players are becoming increasingly vocal about feeling profoundly undervalued by team owners and governing bodies, citing a stark contrast between their immense contributions to the sport's growth and the respect and compensation they actually receive. So this number change isn't just an isolated incident. It's another data point in a much larger narrative of perceived disregard for the true worth of these female athletes. The players are tired of the constant, exhausting battles for basic respect, and when Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in the sport, allegedly says enough is enough, it sends a powerful message to every other player watching. You don't have to accept disrespect just because it comes from a prestigious organization. Now, it's true that Caitlin isn't the only player who wears number 22. A'ja Wilson, a phenomenal talent and respected veteran, also wears it, as do other great players like Cameron Brink. This fact has historically sparked conversations about how such high-profile players might share the number, especially in all-star game scenarios. But here's the key difference. The discussion always revolved around who would graciously defer in a situation where both players were present. It was never about stripping one of the game's biggest names of her signature number without any legitimate conflict in the first place. The previous year, this potential number conflict between Clark and Wilson for an all-star spot was conveniently circumvented when Clark didn't play due to injury. This meant the hypothetical situation of them sharing or deciding on the number never fully materialized. Now, it appears USA Basketball preemptively decided to solve a problem that doesn't actually exist, pushing Clark into a new number without any apparent need for such a drastic and controversial measure. And they're learning the hard way that Caitlin isn't interested in accepting unnecessary compromises. Then the official roster list for the USA Basketball training camp finally dropped, providing concrete evidence of the number swap. And there it was, plain as day for the world to see, Caitlin Clark listed with number 7. So there it is. Team USA forced Caitlin Clark to change her number. She allegedly threatened to quit, and now Sue Bird is scrambling to fix this self-inflicted mess. What do you think Caitlin should do? Should she walk away, or should she compromise? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button so this story gets out there, and subscribe for more basketball drama. Trust me, this story isn't over yet. See you next time.